Hi guys, welcome back to Dave Astrology. Today we are doing the monthly reading for the month of April, and in this video we are going to be talking about the sign of Capricorn. Now you can watch this video both from a Capricorn rising as well as from a Capricorn moon sign perspective. Of course, your choices. I recommend you to watch both your rising and moon signs, but if you feel comfortable from one of the above, you can go ahead and select that video for this month reading based on your choice. All right, without further ado, let's jump into the reading to understand what are the planetary positions going to be determining us for the month of April. Now, guys, it is important for you to realize that Sun is in the sign of Pisces and he is going to be here until April 12th, and then he is going to be moving into the sign of Aries and its exaltation from April 13th onwards. Then you have Mercury again in the sign of Pisces itself. He will become direct from April 7th, and Venus is going to become direct from April 12th onwards. He is also placed in a retrogression in its sign of exaltation. Venus and Mercury's presence together here is ensuring that Mercury is getting a niche bhanga, cancellation of the debilitation. But it is very important to understand the impact of both Mercury and Venus becoming direct for us in the month of April itself. And then you have Mars, who's coming into its sign of debilitation from April 2nd onwards itself. So, right from the start of the month, you will find that Mars gets debilitated for you. Jupiter is going to be making a transit from Rohini Nakshatra into the Mrikshara Nakshatra, from Moon's Nakshatra to Mars Nakshatra on April 10th. Saturn is already in Pisces with the start of the month itself. He is currently in Bhadrapada Nakshatra and will be transiting into Uttara Bhadrapada at the end of this month on April 27th, which means he will be coming into his own nakshatra sign, which is a very positive sign coming in for you guys as well. And then Rahu is in the nakshatra of Jupiter Purva and he is inching towards the sign of Aquarius, while Ketu is in nakshatra ruled by Sun. Now, guys, you have to understand here that there is still a huge clutter of planets which are present in your third house itself in the sign of Pisces. First and foremost is your ascendant lord or the lord of your Rashi if you are watching this from a Capricorn moon sign perspective. Saturn rules your first and your second house, and he has entered into your third house in its state of combustion. That combustion will come to an end after the first 7-10 days. So you are going to see some level of slowness, some level of lethargy, some level of outcomes not transpiring for you the way you would have anticipated. And that is okay. Because as the weeks progress for you, this is a major transit that has happened, folks. We've talked about at length with respect to Saturn's transit as well during this period. I've done a completely different series. If you've not had a chance, I recommend you to go and check that series out as well and understand what that transit means for you. But very importantly, in the initial phase of this transit, what you're going to feel is that things might be stuck. They might not be moving with respect to your health, with respect to anything that you physically embody. Your personality in itself could see some level of slowness. And it's just that, Capricorns, it would feel that the world has come to a halt, it has come to a stop, but do not worry. Keep on putting in your efforts in whatever direction you've been trying to activate, in whatever field of work you are, whether in job, in business, as a student watching this video, as a homemaker. It is important for you to continue to push forward. Yes, it may take time for the results to transpire, but they will give you a positive outcome. I think many of you could even feel some level of lethargy in putting enough efforts as well. But as the Saturn comes out of combustion, you will see that shift of energy, that you will see that shift of mindset also transpiring for you. Now, of course, this conjunction is getting close with Rahu, which is not an easy conjunction to be in. We've talked about that bit at length as well, but you have to also understand that Rahu will continue to inch towards his transit into Aquarius. He is the co-lord of your second house. So this is a period for you folks to keep investing your hard work, support of your family towards whatever you are doing. Many of you could be doing short-term journeys with respect to your career, professional, especially with respect to your career and profession. And things haven't materialized the way you would have anticipated. You could be in a sales role, you could be in a role that requires you to travel from one place to another, interact with people, and then see the outcomes. But this will shift, especially when Mercury and Venus become direct as well. Venus happens to be your 10th lord, and we'll touch upon that in a bit. But with Saturn's combustion going away in the second week onwards for April, it will bring a lot more confidence, a lot of self belief out in you, which could be a little diminished, tad bit hidden somewhere at this point in time for you folks. Now, it is also important that you continue to pay attention towards your health, the kind of food you are consuming, the kind of speech that you are entangled with, because somewhere or the other, I anticipate Capricorns, you could be having some level of frustration creep in on different matters, and it is important to keep a check on that. Saturn's combustion is going to impact your health. In fact, health has been a point of concern in my mind for Capricorns since the retrogression of Mercury itself. That is not something that I've liked a lot, and I've been constantly giving that warning to you folks. Please keep a check on the quality of food you are consuming. You must do that. You must figure out a schedule to exercise, to take brisk walks. Some kind of a health regimen should be incorporated in your schedule, because your second lord and 11th lord getting combusted is not giving any favorable results. You have Mercury sitting in retrogression right now. It is going to shift 10 days hence. And you are also having Mars, who has been placed in your sixth house itself. Yes, he's formed a good Shatruvanta Yoga, but in April, he will be coming into debilitation in your seventh. We will talk about that separately. But emotional distress is possible with that movement. So, health from a physical perspective as well as emotional and mental perspective must be taken care of. Quality of food that you are consuming must be addressed. You must be making the right measures around those areas as well. Now, as we move further, we realize that Mercury, which happens to be the lord of your sixth house and your ninth house, respectively, is becoming very critical. He is in retrograde motion, lord of, and he was giving an exalted aspect to your ninth house as well. Some of you would have seen some level of slowness, if not with respect to health, with respect to your career, job, professional. Things might not have been the best, probably in terms of your relationship with your bosses, or there were certain promises that were meant, that there were certain exchanges that you've had at your workplace, but you feel that none of that has been fulfilled. There's not been much of movement in those regards. There is a level of stagnancy that has also crept into what you've dealt with. Mind you, with Mercury becoming direct, yes, he is continually getting that niche bhanga as well. And when Venus also provides that niche bhanga being direct, things are going to get much better. You are going to see a shift after the first week. And from second week of April, suddenly you're going to realize that things are now getting some sort of a movement. You could get a positive news either from your superiors, bosses, managers, or you could also see some kind of an improvement with respect to your connection with your father. Your father in itself could see some positive outcome coming their way. Mercury is the lord of your sixth house as well. I see positive outcomes definitely happening on a work front. You might get a new opportunity that you might have to pick up. It will be an opportunity to showcase what you can bring with respect to your skill sets, not just your hard work, guys. Capricorn, you guys are already very hardworking people. There is no denial to that. But the way you are going to leverage your skill sets during this period is going to become prominent once Mercury is becoming direct. I think your communication is also going to see some positive expansion, both from a personal as well as professional standpoint. Now, you have to also understand that Venus happens to be the lord of your 10th house as well as your fifth house. He is a Yoga Karaka planet for you guys, Capricorn, and he's becoming direct progressive from the second week of April onwards. Since he's been retrograded, you could have seen some level of delays coming in with respect to your karma, with respect to your effort. It could have also impacted your kids if you are parents watching this video, if you're a student watching this video from your education perspective, you would have seen some level of delays coming in. You have to understand, guys, Venus has gone 11 places away from itself. So it is a good movement from that perspective. He's sitting in a sign of exaltation. He's in a Parivartan yoga with Jupiter as well. Yet, things could have just been delayed or been stalled for the last few weeks. You are going to find that shift happening later in the month of April when Venus is becoming direct from April 12th onwards. Now, the interesting part to note is that Venus is 6 away, being the 10th lord, into the third house. There is a lot of effort, there is a lot of push that has been coming in from your side. You've been trying to leave no stone unturned, be it in your business, be it in your job, or from whatever pursuit of life you are currently working, operating from. But though that interaction, maybe in your relationships, in your communication, in what you anticipate from the other party coming your way, even in your education, in your investments, have not given positive results or the results that you anticipated them to be. That shift will happen once this Venus is becoming direct. Cheshtabal is there in a retrograde planet, but there is also a lot of vroom, that acceleration that you see whilst you are standing parked on a red light signal. You are just giving that push to the throttle, to the accelerator, but you cannot race ahead. That feeling has been there, but now this Venus will start delivering outcomes for you. His placement in the third is not great one in my mind. Why? Because he's a soft planet coming into a third house, which is a difficult one. But conjunction with Rahu was all about expansion. A lot of action happening at the career front, a lot of action happening from an education, investment, studies front. But the outcomes are just getting delayed. And that is what I'm alluding to, seeing a shift. You have to also understand that Venus's aspect is debilitated into your ninth house. That tussle that I was alluding to with respect to your bosses and stuff will also shift because Mercury will give an exalted aspect and will be direct by the time Venus becomes direct. So you are going to see some positive outcomes configuring for you in the second half of the month predominantly. Now, if you have a note in this multi-planetary conjunction happening in your third house itself, Jupiter is in exchange with Venus, and Jupiter will be transiting into the Mrikshana nakshatra, which will have a faster paced outcome towards this Parivartan Yoga as well. But before I jump into that, I want to draw your attention towards Sun, who's the Lord of your eighth house. He's been placed in your third. He's come 8 houses away from itself. Now, eighth Lord moving 8 houses away is a positive movement. It's a Bhavam thing coming into play for you. You will realize that this time, whatever the efforts you've put in isolation, whatever research you've done to gain a knowledge, information to upskill yourself, reskill yourself, anything that you've been taking with respect to inheritance related matters, that is of importance. They will be materializing positively for you, but especially for you, Capricorns. This continues to be a good period from a sun perspective, both in the first half as well as in the second half. In the second half, sun comes to its house of exaltation in the fourth house itself, and is moving 9 places away from the eighth. So there will be a definitive increase in your knowledge. There will be a definitive increase in your assets. There is a possibility that you might expand on your asset as well, buy something, purchase something positive, big for yourself, or maybe you end up inheriting something big. It might just fall on your lap. So some unexpected gains for you guys, Capricorns, are 100% anticipated when compared to any other zodiac for that matter. So that's an extraordinarily positive sign that is coming into play for you. Now, you have to also make sure that this should not let any kind of overconfidence, arrogance, ego issues creeping inside you, because that is another risk that will come with sun's exaltation in your fourth. Maybe there could be some tussle like situations from a family front whilst you are getting positive delivery, that positive outcome towards you. Now, the sun will also be giving a debilitated aspect towards your 10th house, which is a little bit tricky. But the fact that Venus is an exaltation, you are not going to see any negative repercussions come out of that. Mars is also going to be giving an aspect to your 10th house. So, from a work perspective, you are going to gradually become more occupied, busy, and hopefully chasing larger goals once your personal matters settle down during this period. Jupiter is in exchange with Venus. He is sitting in your fifth house. And I want to remind you that from romantic matters, pursuits perspective, this will be a period that can bring you success only once Venus becomes direct. Now, I've been talking about positive aspects of this Parivartan Yoga. People would say, Dev, why are you just changing gears? It was because of the retrogression that I anticipated, not so great outcomes panning out. But from your romantic people who are watching as singles this video, you are going to see some positive connotation coming into your relationships as well. You will find opportunities to take some short distance travel together, some sort of getaways. You might want to have those evening outings together materialize from the second half. That's a positive sign. It is also going to show some positive outcome with respect to your education. If you're watching this as a student, you are going to find some opportunity that is going to come your way, hopefully help you achieve the goals and objectives that you had set for yourself. So I see an uptick coming in from that angle as well. Last but not the least, Jupiter is giving its aspect to your 11th house, ninth house, and your ascendant itself. Extremely important. Jupiter's aspects are great. Yes, he's giving a debilitated aspect to your first house, but fear not, his ninth aspect has a lot of strength. So I imagine that Capricorns, you will stick with your belief system, with your principles, and you are going to further improve on the quality of exchanges that you have with society, with community, or at your workplace. So there is going to be a definitive improvement on that. Some sort of connection is also brewing for people who are going to be planning any kind of foreign education, foreign connection. Positive outcomes, if you anticipate in that direction, are also planned or anticipated for you folks. Now, Jupiter is giving an aspect to the sign of Virgo. A lot of planets are giving that aspect. He's controlling Ketu as well from there. I think more or less your luck will start favoring. You will see better outcomes for you in the second half. Your father's health is also going to see major improvement. If not, there is some kind of positive gain promised to your father as well. They could see some uptick in their income if they're still working at this point in time. Now, Mars, which happens to be the lord of your fourth house and your 11th house of gains, wish fulfillment, desires, he's come 9 places away and 4 places away from these two houses into your seventh, but he's come into the house of Cancer in a sign of debilitation, which is a challenging bit. So, guys, your spouse, your partner, your partnerships in general, your professional relationships are, or even your network overall is going to be helping you to find gains. It is going to be helping you to accomplish the targets that you've set for yourself, albeit you might have to just lower your expectations to a certain. Do not think that a debilitated Mars is not going to deliver great outcomes to you. I have many times called this out that if a niche bang is coming to a debilitated planet, it delivers better than an exalted one. And Mars is sitting in Kendra itself for you folks. And that is an extraordinary placement coming into play. So for you folks, it is already happening in the Kendra. There is a niche punk situation arriving for you guys, Capricorn. It is giving an exalted aspect to your ascendant, to your first house, which means you would not be leaving any stone unturned in terms of chasing the opportunities coming in your way. This Mars is also giving an aspect to your 10th house. So again, from a career, work, professional perspective, you are going to be very strong, but I would want you to keep a watch on your speech. I would want you to keep a control on how you are expressing your thoughts. This Mars is giving an aspect, eighth aspect to your second house from your family perspective. How you are interacting with them, snapping at them during this point of time could be highly probable. You are going to be driven, motivated during this phase. So just reacting to some situation, then responding is what you have to be very careful about. That is one caveat. Now you have to also understand the fourth lord is coming into debilitation in seventh. There could be some issues for married people that might brew up, especially with respect to your mother and spouse having some sort of an argument. That is very much probable, or any kind of other domestic scenarios could actually bring some lack of peace to your mind. You might not be very happy to how the interactions are brewing. But I still consider this to be a positive movement. People who are planning to get married during this phase of time, there would be certain delays. Things might not work out the way you would have anticipated. But I would urge you to please have a look in your natal chart than just focusing on the transitory reading here. Now, last but not the least, I want to emphasize to one fact that finding a balance between work and home is going to be extremely important in the month of April for you. You are going to find success only if you are able to strike balance. So please take this suggestion, this recommendation seriously from my side. You must try and see that how you are able to allocate some me time during this period, as well as continue with that rigor and focus in your workplace and associate to your family members as well. If you are able to find that, if you are able to focus towards your health, which is what I was alluding to earlier, good quality food, improvement will automatically come to your health once Mercury is becoming direct as well. I think second half of the month is going to be so much conducive for you, Capricorns. You are going to see a lot of positive outcomes. And if you've liked this video, then you must smash on that like button, subscribe to the Astrology, and keep watching.